welcome into the bonus casual gaming conversation. We discussed before this whole thing of like, what are we going to do for this quarter? And I was like, let's do Hellblade 2 spoiler cast. That doesn't need to happen now. So we called an audible. We got the boys together. It's me, Connor, Brady, the full crew hanging out with you for about an hour discussing our Summer Game Fest stories. But before we get into that, Connor, Brady, you guys both feeling well after shooting content for 4 hours?
I feel good. It's warm in here. Nick just made me touch his sweat. He was like, feel my pants. And I was like, oh, there's like a hole or like something in his pocket. And it was just wet. And he was like, yeah, that's all sweat. And I was like, why would you do that to me?
It's so hot in here.
Yeah, I wonder why. Because Nick refuses to leave his AC on for
I forgot.
the entire day.
Oh my gosh. I'm coming in hot. I'm on 4 hours of sleep and I'm riding the lightning still.
It's like 95 degrees outside right now.
It's
It's gonna
so
be 95 all week. I'm gonna lose it.
Well, thankfully it was not 95 in LA last week when we were in the summit. What is up?
Yeah, it's
There,
way
okay.
tilted up. Yeah.
But we were out in LA last week because of you guys' lovely support, and it was amazing, and we're very, very thankful about it. And we want to bring you inside. We'll do a vlog. Bring you inside the room and hang out. What was that face,
Nick's
Connor?
trying to bring people inside. That's kind of gross.
Dude,
I
why
don't
can
know.
we not just have a normal podcast one time, dude?
This is just supposed to be a fun podcast. We got swamp acid to be discussed. People being brought inside.
We're 3 minutes in, I think.
Oh my god. Well, this is what you get with the bonus casual gaming conversation. Every single week we do bring to you a normal thing that it comes with a draft and hot takes and a big topic. That's not this at all. This is literally just a podcast to have fun and talk about the stories that you enabled us to have. So if we are frustrated, it's your fault, but all alongside it, we did have like some of the greatest memories we ever had. So because of you, and thank you for that.
We're frustrated.
If we got frustrated during the weekend, like there's multiple moments that we did not enjoy certain aspects of this trip that we will get to momentarily.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, first and foremost, let's start here. SGF, the showcase, the kickoff event, finishes 5 o'clock. It is Friday. Or it finishes around 8 o'clock. It's Friday. We go and try to fall asleep. Did you guys like get to bed at a reasonable hour or not?
I was in a weird spot where I ate dinner late, and then I was like, maybe I can platinum Final Fantasy VII Rebirth tonight. And I was sitting there, and the food was not sitting well in my stomach, and I was trying to go for it, and I got to the final phase of the last challenge I had to do, and I died, and I was like, okay, that's the sign. I gotta just go to bed.
Yeah.
So I tried to go to bed. I think I fell asleep at like around 11, but like it's one of those situations where like I don't know if I fell asleep until later in the night.
Yeah.
Same. It was one of those things. It's like we had to catch a flight so early to where it's like I was so worried about waking up on time that I kept waking up a bunch thinking I was late. It was there was a nice aspect to that because I did wake up, and nothing's worse than like waking up like 5 minutes before your alarm. So every time I did wake up, I did have like 2 more hours of sleep. So I was like,
Oh yeah,
all right, you got this, dude.
I was the same way. I fell asleep at like 12:30ish. But the funniest part was, now we can talk about this. I knew I was going to be seeing Monster Hunter, so I called up our good friend Matt Lucid, who's in the Twitch community, and he's a mod of ours, and he's one of my best friends. And I'm like, hey man, I know you love Monster Hunter World. Could you like sit down and break down every bit of Monster Hunter World? Because like I played over his house a couple times, but this is years ago. I have no idea what's happening. So I get Taco Bell after uploading everything at 9 p.m. before a 4 a.m. flight. Not a good decision.
You guys need to eat at normal times.
Yeah. and then he literally gave me an hour breakdown of Monster Hunter. And so shout out to him because that was awesome. And then got to sleep. 4 a.m. rolls around. The alarm hits. And we start. I told the boys start recording, so the vlog will start at that point of 4 a.m. How was the wake up process and everything?
Well, Nick told us to start recording, but he didn't tell us the day before. He told us the morning of. So I just like woke up and it's 3:30, and Nick's like, "Hey, take a video right now," and I'm like, all right. And it was a great video. I didn't say any words. I just showed my face, my luggage, and then my cats. And then it was all cute for a second. And then they just started fighting. And I was like, great.
There we go.
This is a good start.
Yeah, Rosie whapped pale in the face. Yeah, I woke up, felt awful, but excited, as you do at 4 a.m. Got in the shower, tried to wake myself up in that way. It didn't work great. But once we got in the car, the boys were buzzing.
Yeah.
I felt great until we got to the airport and trying to get through security and everything, and the line was fucking
insane.
long.
So long.
And it just kind of made me sleepy for whatever reason. Usually I get a coffee at the airport first thing, and I was like, I just need to get on this plane and pass out.
Yeah.
We have Connor that is just exhausted. The car and the vibe and your wife driving us was amazing, and like we were good to go, and we were like, holy shit, this is about to happen. Connor, we're in the line for security, and I just start asking him ridiculous hypotheticals that all dealt with Ted Lasso at 5 a.m. I'm
was
just
like,
like,
"You need to
Connor.
stop
Dude,
talking
that's
right
my
now."
favorite thing. Connor just turns to you and he goes, "Stop talking to me."
And I go, okay. And then I stopped talking for a bit. And then at like 30 minutes later, when we had Happy Connor back, I was like, can I tell you the hypothetical? And you're just like, sure. And I go like 24 hours in an airport without your phone, or you have to watch the first season of Ted Lasso. And he's like, I hate you so much. Why the fuck are you? This is my nightmare. This is
Yeah.
torturous.
I would take the airport.
Yeah, you.
I'm not watching.
So funny.
I'm not watching Ted Lasso.
All right.
That show seems horrible to
It's
me.
so.
I can't do
I'm
it.
so excited to make you watch that one day.
I'm not watching.
Twit. We'll like get goals up for Extra Life or something for the cheap price of $1.
Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce. No, but at the airport, I was in that awkward phase too, where it was like, I really want a coffee right now because it's like I just woke up and I always drink coffee. And at the airport, you just grab a coffee.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like, dude,
It's a little treat.
I need to get on the plane and sleep. It's
Yeah,
like,
but we all had middle seats.
Yeah.
yeah,
so,
we're together. We all had middle seats. It's
Nightmare
wild.
situation.
which I don't mind a middle seat. I do think that in the future when
Just
we
feels so
Because you
restricted.
can talk to two people at one time.
when we book a flight for 7 a.m. that's a 4.5 hour flight. I the next time we're swiping the card and just being like we're all just getting window seats or whatever we need to get good
No,
sleep.
that was fine.
I like to gamble, baby. I like the
Yeah,
roll.
Yeah,
honestly,
the
I don't
dice.
really care that much. It just does suck. Or
Yeah.
whatever. But like, I ended up there's on all the other flights we took, like the seats were too close together that I couldn't put the seat down, like the tray table down, and kind of lean my head on it. But on this flight, I leaned the tray table down, put my like neck pillow down on that, and just kind of like crossed my arms on that, and that worked perfect. Worked wonders.
So we go, we're up in the air. I get like an hour of sleep. I listen to Black Country New Roads album Ants from Up There on repeat because I just kept on being like, fuck it, run it back. And like, had a great time. Got some work done. Was able to do some trivia stuff. Yeah, like I shout out to T-Mobile, and also if you just have a Delta account, you can get free internet. That I noticed. So I have a Delta account. I was rocking the free internet, talking to people in our Discord, not like
Nice.
voice, but like just like messaging. Super good, easy flight. But in total, I got an hour of sleep on the plane and like 3.5, 4 hours the night before, maybe. And
Right.
so we're rolling into SGF. None of us like got like a ton of sleep the night before, and none of us really slept a ton on the plane. You guys both got some gaming in, right?
Yeah. Here you go.
Jinx. I would sleep for like an hour and then wake up and play Animal Well for like an hour and then just go back and forth
Yeah.
doing that.
I slept for like 2 hours in and out, and then woke up, checked the email and everything, was kind of just messing around on the internet. Found out that they use Calendly, I think is how you say it. Like it's a calendar app or like website for scheduling appointments for some developers. And for whatever reason, if you're on the East Coast, it defaults to the East Coast or whatever for the Eastern time zone. So I thought I was scheduling for PST. So I thought the appointments I was scheduling for one of the games we were playing was at 4 o'clock for the day that we're getting there. And then I am in the air and then I go check and it was like, we've been in the air for like an hour. And I was like, why does it say 3 o'clock now? Did I just write that down wrong? And then I realized that we've crossed the time zone. So the time had changed. So it was actually 3 hours earlier than what I thought it was. So our appointment was actually at 1 o'clock. Thank God that it did not cross over with anything because it was one of the best games we played. So,
That was Phantom Blade. Like that appointment was absolute. Like we were like, like this just works out well, and then we were able to use the rest of the day for walking appointments and everything. But like the moment Connor just is like, hey, I think that like the scheduling is in EST, and I'm just like, what is that? Like I'm like going through
Doing
the
math,
calendar in my head, being like, does that overlap with something else? And thankfully it didn't.
Right.
And I think at the end of it, we're just like laughed it off, and it's good to know for the future.
Yeah.
But thank God Connor checked, because if not, we would have rolled up at 4:40 and been like, "Hey, we're here to play a game." And they're like, "No, you're not. That's
so
not how
sad.
that works."
It was
but-
for them and it was for Sega as well.
Yeah.
Sega, I had an appointment for like 8:45 and I was like, this seems wrong because I think the event ends at 8.
yeah,
And
that was.
I was like,
Weird.
maybe they just like have like a later booth like somewhere else or whatever, and you can just walk up. But no, it was very much
Yeah.
at 5:45.
That's such a that's a wild thing that
Yeah.
that makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And so we land, the vibes are good. We get our like case of equipment that feels very James Bond-esque, if I'm being real. Like I
Oh,
feel like that
cool.
thing gets dropped in, you're like, oh yeah, we're about to shoot some fucking content, dude. And so we get in the Uber and we type the Uber in, like I just copy and paste what Connor was like already sent through and everything for the Airbnb that we're going to. We start getting driven to just not where you want to be in LA. A lot of like
Skid Row.
literally Skid Row.
Skid Row.
Oh.
I could see it on her GPS, like she's pulling up. I like lean over to Connor, I'm like, oh, we're close to Skid Row. And then next thing I know, she's like, it says to stop here, and it's just Skid Row.
Yeah.
It's
And
like the heart of
Yeah.
of that part of town. Like it was just like, okay, this is definitely not right. And
We-
and she was like, yeah, I'm not dropping you off here. And we are like, yeah, that's
Thank you.
fair, whatever.
And so we then pull up on Apple Maps and we're like, it's actually here. But I typed in the same thing and it was a few blocks down and everything, which like,
Apple Maps.
what? Yeah, I'm an Apple Maps guy. What do you
Me
got to say
too.
about
It's
it?
all right. Me
What do you got to
too.
say about it, Connor?
Me too. We're not doing this. That's a
You're
different
What do you gotta
podcast.
say about
You're
this?
just wrong.
We could have
Google
a whole
Maps
podcast.
is so much better. Like it's ridiculously better.
It's not. Anyways, so we get to our Airbnb. Once again, it's like not the nicest part of town, but the Airbnb is fucking awesome.
Yeah, the building itself wasn't even nice on the outside. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but the Airbnb looks great and the ratings were really good. So then we go in and like it's a big space, tall ceilings, can sleep all of us, has a ping pong table. Like we're in, baby. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it was
stoked.
great. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah, for when it came to also like it was like 10 to 15 minutes away from the event. Worked out really well. This is where like when we were discussing stories after the fact on Twitch and to the Discord and everything. Once again, we had 5 hours maybe of sleep, and we're like, all right, shower, get in an Uber, and then play games for like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Like it was so immediate, so fast, and so frantic where it's just like, fuck, but also like super exciting. This is where I noticed my stomach will not be on any schedule for this weekend. Like I was tossing and turning, did not want to like eat food at normal hours, was extremely hungry at weird hours. Like, but it's just because we slept so weird, and now we're doing this awesome thing, and it
Right.
like. We get out of the Uber, we walk into the event, or we get our credentials, which was nice and easy. Shout out to SGF and Jeff and the team for putting on like a very seamless operation. It's also very weird because it's just I don't think we can say where it was, but it's just like in the middle of randomness all around
Right.
you. You have no idea. Like you take a turn and all of a sudden you see like the Elden Ring logo and like so it's
Right.
like weird stuff like that where you're like, oh shit, I guess we're here. Roll in, get our credentials. They provide like meals and stuff like that, which is very awesome and everything.
Yeah, they had food trucks and stuff.
Yeah,
They
it
were pretty
was-
good too.
Yeah,
I got
They
the
had a
same food
Mediterranean
truck.
place. They had a Mexican place. They
Pizza.
had pizza that Nick got, which was not
Oh,
good.
we'll get there.
Greasy. They had an Asian fusion one.
Yeah, oh,
too.
yeah.
Oh, I should have gotten that.
Yeah, it
I
looks
just got
good.
Mexican and I got the Mediterranean.
I got
And-
the Mediterranean both days. It was good.
Yeah, I got pizza and Mexican, and the pizza was really bad.
And then
Oh.
Nick
Also, like,
forgot his meal cards the second day. I wanted the Sonic, the Shadow the Hedgehog shake from the Atlas/Sega food truck, and I was robbed of that.
Yeah, because of my
Forgot
incompetence.
his-
I apologize. I made it very clear.
They blended up Shadow the Hedgehog and put him in a milkshake, Nick. I wanted that shit.
So we roll in, and immediately, I think me and Connor especially are taken aback by like seeing
Everybody,
everyone we've watched for me. It's like it's been about 7 years, which is a long time. Connor, it's been like 15 years, which is a very long time. The first people I noticed, and I didn't point them out to Connor, I think I might have shown them to Brady. I was like, oh, that's girlfriend reviews. Connor and I were listening to their newest video in the car on the way over. And
I
I was
never
just
saw
like,
them. That's so weird.
and I was like, oh, that's cool and everything. And then surely enough, the moment like that really set the tone of the weekend, and I've shouted him out, and it's terrific. We are walking into like the main building and everything, and just within the middle of this pathway that connects the entire event together is Snow Bike Mike, and he's talking it up, chopping it up with a person, and he has a moment where like he like sort of like gives it like he looks over, sees us, Then he goes back to his conversation, and then he just drops the conversation, turns, runs up to us, daps with the boys, gives us a big hug.
Clean daps.
Oh,
No,
great, dude. He's like, I just want to hug him all the time.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we had like kind of nerves walking in there. Like,
Oh,
this is
totally.
weird. It feels like we don't belong here. This is weird. And then just him just dapping us up, being like, "What's up, boys?" It's like, hell yeah, we fucking belong here, dude.
He's legitimately a force. Like, it is crazy to see this guy. It is 10 a.m. They flew in late last night. It doesn't fucking matter. He is dialed in on talking, bringing the energy. And literally, I think for all of us, like, the nerves were here, and they just immediately, like, went down 5 or 6 notches. So just like, holy shit, you're so kind and energetic and so welcoming. And to be able to talk to him multiple times throughout that day and everything, every single time it was, how you guys doing? You guys you good? Like, all this just like reaffirming of energy and kindness, and it was fucking awesome. So shout out to you, Snowbike Mike, if you ever listen to this. And so see Mikey, we then are like looking around, we walk the show floor, and we're just like, all right, we at this point have 6 appointments. Let's go into
the whole weekend.
Yeah, the whole weekend.
The whole weekend. Yeah.
And so we're just like, let's try to walk in and like on any and every game. So we then get a battle list together of like, okay, we want to go here first, because if they say yes, we don't want to like have it be thrown in the wash earlier.
Yeah, just for perspective here. So like when they send out the partner list, then they like give us emails to reach out to. We reach out to just about everybody, and we get appointments from some of the big dogs. And you know from the previews that we've done, like who we got to speak with. But like a lot of people you just don't hear back from. They're busy. I don't know what the wires being crossed looks like on like why we don't hear back from some people, why we do from the others. But there was a bunch of, I was under the impression that we were going to be able to go in there and you were just going to be able to walk up to certain booths. And then the ones that needed appointments, we had appointments for.
Yeah.
That's what I thought the situation was, but that is not the case. You walk in, there's somebody standing at each booth, and you have to have an appointment for every single one of them, just about. And then if you're lucky, you can do like a walk up situation. But we then, like Nick said, we make a list of like all the partners that we don't have an appointment with, and we just kind of prioritize them differently on like who we want to make sure we go see first, and then so on and so forth. And we ended up filling out our schedule for the entire weekend. Like,
we were never not playing games or eating food to then be able to play more games.
So I mean, the first day I think we played 10 things, 9 things or something, when we had 2 things scheduled. We had Delta Force and Phantom Blade scheduled, and we played 10 things. Yeah,
and I mean, the highlights just keep rolling in on the day of gaming. Every single moment, whether it was a game that we were so stoked for, like Phantom Blade, like that delivered, but the walk-ups where it's just like, I just want to try cool games. I just want to hang out with my friends and do cool shit. The amount of times that you, me, I was about to say you, me, and Brady. Brady's right here. The amount of times the 3 of us would sit down on the couch and together and like play games and take notes. I felt like there wasn't time to be nervous or weirded out by the fact that we are just, in LA and like doing this whole thing, because we were so deeply in it immediately.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
It was very much a business trip, it felt like. Like we were there to do content, you know what I mean? So like I wanted to make sure that we got as many appointments as possible. We're maximizing our time, saw as many games as possible. There was definitely certain things that I wish that we could have seen that we didn't get appointments for, or just like we're kind of turned away at the door for, which is fine. Like people are busy. There's certain games that I know that people were prioritizing.
Yeah.
But we also learned a lot about like how this all works. Like Ubisoft was holding an event somewhere in the area because so many people got to go play
Outlaws and saw
and see Assassin's Creed. And I was like, okay, like that's super cool. They weren't on the partner list at
and
all.
we've worked with Ubisoft before. Like, so because we got codes for Prince of Persia. And so like, we have a relationship, and they trust us obviously enough in the industry to be like, okay, like we like you guys and want to work with you. The fact that we just didn't know to reach out, like next time around, it's like, oh, you just reach out to everyone.
Yeah,
you just because what if you're hosting an event even outside of the main stage? But it really was the biggest thing of this entire experience, in my opinion, is it's a learning experience, but also after you do one, you can do number 2, but you can't do number 2 without doing number 1.
Right.
and and the looks are
I didn't
for the
do
audio
anything.
listeners.
I just looked at Brady
Uh,
immediately.
and so we're now able to be like, oh, like we know what like SGF is. We've met certain people. We know how to ask certain questions.
Right.
And so the nice part is like the day continues on. We meet some creators. We meet some PR people that were awesome and started to form some relationships beyond just like what we already
That
came
was
in
very
with.
important.
Which is
to just get names to faces,
Right.
shake some hands,
Yeah.
meet some people.
Like the whole trip was worth it just based off of the PR contacts that we were able to go and like meet. But like there's such a large difference between shooting an email that is completely faceless and say, hey, look, watch our content, and we don't know if that hits their inbox. We don't know if that like somebody actually like cares enough to look into it. We don't know. But when you have somebody's face and you're like, hey, we're three morons, but like we do video game content that's pretty cool, it works. And we were
Right.
able to actually talk and make connections. It's really cool. So the day continues on. Delta Force, the big thing that I like to just talk about is the fact that we got Martinelli's, because I haven't had Martinelli sparkling cider since I was like 12, and that shit was hot.
It was
Literally
warm.
literally
it was
warm.
but it was fine.
Yeah.
Tasty.
Yeah.
And then
sure.
we do some lunch. I still think that there's some nerves in the air at
We
this
did.
point.
Well, we also did like a walk around to try to like get our bearings when we first
yeah.
got there. We there's so many booths. There's like a main floor with like open concept booths set up,
Yeah.
and then there's behind closed door sections. Capcom had like a big section. Level Infinite had a big section. PlayStation was tucked away in the back corner.
That was so funny when we were like, where the fuck's PlayStation? And then we
Yeah.
roll up and like, this is really cool. The PlayStation room and everything too
Yeah.
was like spectacular.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And so we walk around and we get our bearings. And this is once again the thing of you have to do it once to like the next time around, we will be so much better at appointment scheduling, but also just being like, okay, I can do this appointment. But I also want to walk up and try to get in on this, and knowing how to do that so easily and just like
Right.
at that point too, if Blumhouse Games, that guy knows who the fuck we are because we went up to him 7 times for appointments. If they're back the next year with another awesome horror indie title, or it's not indie if they're anyways,
Yeah.
it would be awesome. Like just be like, hey, like you remember us, and then you'd be like, I fucking remember you guys. So like,
I cannot forget you guys.
so we then I'm gonna have a moment where I stop Jeff Grubb in his tracks, and I'm like, hey, dude, I love your podcast. Thank you for doing what you do. And he's like, heck yeah, man, super nice to meet you. Co-op, yep, cool, nice to meet you. And that was another moment, just like, oh, I guess there is going to be moments just to like meet people, but
Yeah,
it's
but it
also
was
you
so
don't
not
want
the
to
focus.
Yeah,
People
Right.
are busy.
because everyone there is for business. Like you
Right.
don't want to. It's not a meet and greet. It's not like
so hard to not just be starstruck and be like, I want
Right.
to talk to all these people, like Maximilian Dude, like Ryan McCaffrey's walking around,
Yeah.
Jason Schreier's walking around.
the big one with
Imran Khan is walking. Like,
Yeah.
It's just like and
Co-
kind
Connor-
of funny guys. as
Connor
well.
knows this very well. There's a moment where, like, after we meet Mikey, I'm like, okay, like, I think that I'm good. Like, I think that there won't be a moment that is legitimately like starstruck. And then I see Maximilian, dude, and this dude is one tall. He's way taller than I would ever think. But 2, it was a moment of like, holy fuck! Like I watch every one of these guys' videos. Obviously, my love of Final Fantasy VII, he's my guy to go to, as he is for thousands upon thousands of people. Like, and
Right.
he's just like talking about Capcom, just hanging out, just like doing the thing. And I'm like, how are you not? The starstruck is a good word for it, but also like we're here and we're doing the same shit and we're seeing the same stuff, and it is like cool but terrifying, but really exciting. And so then we grabbed some food. We like after a couple demos and just relaxed. I had the pizza because like I said, my stomach was fucked, and I just wanted to get one slice of pizza. And then they hand me a whole pizza box. I'm like, I don't even really want to do this, but okay. And I take out this first slice, and it is 100% grease. There's more grease than there is pizza.
Yeah.
And I just like I don't have enough napkins to like want to dap off, and I didn't want to get up, and I'm hungry, but my stomach's fucked. And I take like 3 bites of this, and I'm like, this is just bad. It's just not delivering the goods.
Yeah.
The rest of the food really great,
Fantastic,
great.
yeah.
So, but it just was not great, and I'm also a pizza snob, so like it just was a bad decision, and that's where me having like weird food schedule started because I was like, all right, I'm just gonna.
Well, you were
kick
also
it.
like,
We also
oh,
had a-
my tummy's messed up. Let me have some pizza and also 6 Diet Cokes.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, but the Diet Cokes.
And
they-
it was 3 o'clock, which
Yeah.
was I guess noon for us
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
brain or whatever. But
and if it's 3 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock our time.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
I guess you're
it-
right. Holy
and
shit.
So it was like
yeah.
dinner time.
Yeah,
whatever.
so we were working
How the
with
other
just
way?
like a odd schedule. Once again, we woke up at 4 a.m. and now I fucking got maximally a dude in my face, and I'm like, am I fucking dreaming? Like, this could be a hallucination.
The person I should have said hi to that I think would have been appropriate. I wish I said hi to Nakey Jakey. He was
Yeah.
walking around. I love Nakey Jakey's videos
Yeah.
so much. I go on like Nakey Jakey like binge benders like every once in a while and just watch all of his videos
They're
again.
so good.
So good.
Yeah, and so after that, we lock it in to go and like start the rest of our demo stretch. Then we had like appointments sort of booked up after we went and got like appointments from walking up earlier for like a good couple hours. But before that, we run into one Andy Cortez, who we can now say was he was like, I got to go and like run to go and play something. But I roll up to him and him and I play Valorant, and he's a little bit of a shorter dude.
Nick decks
I
him.
deck him with my chin.
Really?
My
I didn't
chin
know about this.
Hits his head. I'd like to leave certain
Hits his
stories
head?
for this
Yeah.
podcast. It hits his head, and like I got him. Like and he took it like a champ.
Wait,
He
he
didn't say
hits
a
his
word.
head? How does that
You
work?
did-
His head is here
Oh.
because he's a little bit shorter than me. Like he's like 5'6", 5'7".
So you came in for like a kiss.
No, I
How
went
does
to
that
hug
happen?
I was
him.
thinking.
I went to hug him.
Yeah.
And he's shorter, and so his head.
But
hit-
usually, if you're coming in for a hug, it's not. You're
Yo,
going
I
Nick
know,
was
but
getting
like, I was
sensual,
I'm
dude.
trying to
Sensual
no,
hug.
Straight
no,
on.
it wasn't the it wasn't the like dead center of his forehead. I got him to the left side or a
Okay.
little
You
bit.
just hit him with a
But
little forehead kiss?
but literally, I was like, oh, that I felt bad because I'm like, this is a odd first impression for meeting in person for the first time, but legitimately super nice. Immediately, just like, I want to talk more. I gotta go, and so he disappears. We do not see Andy for the
Yeah,
rest of
right.
SGF. Then before we have that round of appointments, we finally walk into the show floor, and I see Greg Miller talking to his wife and another person, and then he sort of just has a moment where like both those people sort of screw off, and he's just standing there, and so take the opportunity to be like, Greg Miller, I've done some work for you, and he like it did take him a second, but then he's like, oh yeah, like what's up? And then the boys roll in, and Connor and I were able to talk to Greg for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Sick.
Right.
Just so oddly sick. As someone that we both look up to immensely in the industry, for him to be super kind, ask all the right questions, talk about, obviously we brought up Xbox the next day, and the sentiment he said on podcast, he said to us, it cannot be bad. In Jesus Christ, it was not
not
bad.
I said that they always find a way to
Yeah.
make it bad, and they did not.
Yeah.
They deliver the goods.
And so, super nice, and like once again, all the kind of funny guys. Shout out, super kind. But the only ones that we really like met and talked to were those, were Mike, Andy, and Greg. Mike, when me and Brady are playing Hyperlight Breaker, rolls up on us and like starts yapping like behind. He's like, "Oh, dude, like." Just consistently, the aura of Snowbike Mike on this trip was
Right.
wild, super fun. And so we roll into our next demo sets. We play everything, have a great time, and then it's sort of what
Nothing. I was thinking.
Oh.
I'm always looking at that, by the way.
Yeah.
The monitor,
conference
but,
monitor, yeah.
Because I'm bad at eye contact, but I was just thinking about after the event, I popped into Snowbike Mike's stream and said, "Great meeting you this weekend." No chance he knows who I was.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he
yeah.
responds, he's like, "Great meeting you too, dude. It's awesome meeting new people." And I was like, "There's no way he knows who I am."
you should have like done Dash Connor from Call of 64
Yeah,
or
I should've
something,
done
man.
that. I thought that would
Oh.
be kind of pretentious.
No,
or
but
something.
his energy, like he is what he portrays himself to be. They always say, "Don't meet your heroes." You can meet Snowbike Mike. Guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah, true.
Games were great. We like got a lot of our afternoon was all walk-in appointments, so we were like didn't prepare ourselves to play these games, and they were all awesome. And we
Right.
talked about them on yesterday's podcast and everything that we shot today. We've been shooting a lot of content today. It's been a long day. I got 4 hours of sleep last night. And so all of this just leads into now is 6 o'clock. Let's go the fuck back to this Airbnb and call it a day.
and I'm the most tired I've ever been in my entire
Yeah.
life. Like I just was like toast. We're in the Airbnb and I'm like about to fall asleep. We get back, we decompress, we're talking and everything, and just kind of going over what all happened that day. And then we're like, okay, we got to get food. We order Wingstop on
Yep.
DoorDash. We did not want to go out.
It's like 8 o'clock
It's
at
8
this
o'clock
point.
and we're not in like the best. Like we all shower up and everything.
Yeah.
We're not in the best part of town, so we're like, fuck it, we'll deliver. I get into bed to like lay there and be like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna close my eyes for a minute, and then Nick tells me 6 to 8 minutes is when it's gonna be here.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna close my eyes, but like I'll still be awake. Like I'll be ready to go. And I was dreaming of hot wings, just dunking those bad boys in ranch and shoveling it back, and then getting back into bed and falling asleep. And it's like, it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna shovel back this food. It's gonna be and then I'm gonna fall asleep, and it never came.
So
Meanwhile, we're watching
I was
Bad
about
Boys.
to say,
Bad Boys 1.
With me and Brady, obviously, if you watch the Away Out stream, we the entire time just dapping each other
Ride
up.
together,
riding
die
down
together.
Bad boys for life. Like it was
You're a
just
bad boy
constant.
too, bud.
You're
You're a sleepy
good.
bad
Yeah,
boy.
you're a sleepy bad boy. So something I didn't say was on the plane. There was like Fubo TV or something that Delta provides. They didn't have
Nick
screens.
just made that up.
I'm pretty sure that is a provider. And there's some sort of like service that for free TV movies. And I pull it up on my phone and I see Bad Boys 1 and I watch the opening to Bad Boys 1 and then I start doing work because I'm like, you can be productive right now. But I had that itch. And then we try to get Netflix to work, won't work on the TV. So we pull out Connor's computer that's connected for the reactions. Oh, also in this time before that, we set up everything.
That's why it took us.
That's
so
why
long.
it took.
That's why it was 8 o'clock. Yeah.
And what like prepared, did a test stream, talked to the community for a moment. We roll into like watching Bad Boys on
Getting
Hulu
old.
now. We see it, we click it, it's terrific. We're very, very thankful to rock some Bad Boys. Connor just put a pillow on his back because we've been sitting in these uncomfortable ass chairs for
I
4
can
hours.
finally like lean back.
Yeah.
And still be on the mic.
Oh man. But so we started watching Bad Boys 1. And as we're watching Bad Boys 1, I'm staring at my phone that just this person has our food apparently and it's not leaving Wingstop. And I'm just begging for them to leave Wingstop. And I keep showing Brady, I'm like, it's just how I'm leaving. It goes for like an hour and a half of them not delivering our food, and then it's just like order canceled. And I look at Brady and I'm like, let's muck up some hot chicken, dude.
Yeah,
and
I got some Dave's hot chicken.
and
yeah.
it was
We tried to wake Connor up.
Yeah.
He was like,
Nah.
no.
Yeah.
I was like, we got food. It's not Wingstop. And he was like,
So it's now 10 p.m. The last time we ate was 3 p.m. Once again, reminder, that is 6 and 1 a.m. now. We are so exhausted. They roll in with this hot chicken. It's like 10:30, 10:15, 10:30-ish at this point. And me and Brady, we're the late night crew. We're having fun, but we're like on our phones a little bit. There's not a word said for a solid like 4 minutes as we just devour this food. Take it to lunch. Like
stood
dude,
no
it
chance.
it-
That chicken sandwich had no chance.
had
dude.
no chance. We throw Connor's in the fridge. That's important for later. We then are hanging out. We watch a little bit more Bad Boys. And we get like an hour and 20 minutes in,
Yeah,
and then
we're
we're
deep
like,
in
we
there.
gotta call it. We got a busy day tomorrow. We got Xbox in the morning. I then wind down the night by throwing on the Giant Bomb at night stream because I love the way the Giant Bomb does that and brings a bunch of creators together. And I know that the Kind of Funny boys are about to rip it into the late night. Something I didn't say was when we were talking to Greg Miller, of course we bring up the fact that we met Snowbike Mike. Dude is a legend and everything. And he's like, yeah, like he's killing it right now. He brought like a bunch of outfits. It's really odd. And I'm like, yeah, we rolled in and I was like, why does Snowbike Mike look like Adam Sandler ready to play pickup basketball? Like he just looked.
He had Timberlands on, interesting sweatpants.
Yeah, yeah,
and
like-
a Halo 2 like vintage T-shirt.
Oversized
Which
That
I'm
was-
gonna find that shirt online.
that was-
I think it was hard.
2 sizes too big
Yeah.
at
Oh,
least.
yeah.
And like the dude, once again, when you have someone that is that confident, you can wear whatever the fuck
Right.
you want
Oh,
and
yeah.
deliver, and it's awesome. So I go and say that to Greg Miller. Greg Miller then on the Giant Bomb at night, which I highly recommend if you like just good content. The Kind of Funny crew brought probably the best 40 minutes of content I've seen in a very long time on that couch. But they bring up the fact that somebody came up to Greg and was like, dude, why the fuck does Snowbike Mike look like Adam Sandler?
Yeah, that was
And it was a
good.
great time. The next day,
I'll pick it up from here.
yeah, you want to because Connor's the first one away.
Because we're just sleeping, so this is Connor's.
So
yeah.
first of all, I wake up at 3 a.m.
Which is 6. It makes sense.
Okay, well that's fair. Well, I wake up at 3 a.m. and all the blinds are up.
Yeah.
You guys didn't close the blinds, so it was bright as fuck in there. So I close all the blinds. My head hurts really bad for some reason. And then go back to bed, wake up at 6 a.m. PST, which once again makes sense because like that's 9 a.m. for us. So like
Yeah.
I was not adjusted. I had no adjustment from the time change at this point. And my head is pounding for some reason. I had the worst headache of my life, like all in the back, just like could not get right, chugging water, trying to make myself feel better. I was like, maybe food will help, like, and make me feel better because I didn't eat anything last night. I wasn't feeling super hungry, but it's like 7 a.m. at this point. So like an hour has passed of me like just trying to chug water and kind of like lay on my phone. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to make the Dave's Hot Chicken that's in the fridge. I heat it up. It's 7 in the morning. All the lights are out. And there's like a lofted like desk area because there's no table like with chairs.
Yeah.
So, but there's a desk up there. So I have to put my sandwich up in the little off place. My drink,
I didn't even know this.
My water and my phone. And then I walk up the little ladder. And then I forgot something down there, and then I put it all back up, and then I realized like I needed a napkin or something, and then I have to walk back down, sadly, and then walk back up again.
That's so funny.
It feels dangerous too because it's
Oh,
dark.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
dark in there, and like the ladder is not like
It's not a
proper.
big ladder,
Yeah.
and it feels like it's gonna go out from under you at any
Yes.
moment.
And so there's like a sauce container, and then there's sauce on the thing, and like this chicken sandwich is like long,
Yeah.
but like there's like only like a small portion of bun, so you're eating just straight chicken for like
Yeah.
a lot of it. So I'm dunking this bad boy. I'm drinking water. I can't see anything though. I have stuff all over my hands, and I'm like grabbing the water and just smudging
Smudge.
sauce on the side of it and grease. It's like so nasty, but I'm just like,
Oh, no.
I'm munching on
Goblin
this.
mode.
And then like I get to the fries, and like fries in a microwave are just never good. So
Yeah.
I didn't have any sauce left, so I just ate the chicken sandwich. Did not make me feel better, but also
Shocker.
set me up for the rest of the day to like
Yeah.
not be starving because we ate like again at like 3 o'clock
Yeah.
or something like that. So
Then me and Brady wake up at normal hours.
we order coffee.
Yeah, we could do some dunks.
I go to a bodega to get some Excedrin because my headache was not going away. There's
Yep.
a little bodega on the corner. Fucking awesome. Like
Yeah.
they just
Oh,
have
yeah,
everything
dude.
in there, man. And it's
Kind,
open early,
yeah.
and it was great.
And then what feels insane about this weekend, and I told the boys this after the fact, if Xbox were to deliver a showcase like they did on like a normal year in my life, that would make my week. Like that would be the coolest thing that happened for a week. This was just like a footnote in the
Right.
entire weekend. So Xbox showcase starts up. We go TikTok live beforehand, hang out with the community. Then we go over to the main show on Twitch, and Xbox just brings it in such a way
Crushes.
that it's legitimately just like, this is, I think, objectively a 9.5 out of 10 showcase, if not a 10 out of 10 showcase. And I've waffled back and forth. 9.5 is what you and I gave it because
Yeah.
we're like, there's no dates for indie and about.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
no, that's a clear gap. But the reason that I think you can make a case for it being a 10 out of 10 was, I've said it multiple times, you take Perfect Dark out of that showcase, which is my favorite game from that showcase that got shown. Take it out of the showcase, it's still probably a 10 out of 10 showcase.
10
That's how
doesn't
good.
indicate perfection.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's just a masterpiece.
But-
That was a fucking clinic, dude.
But
They just
there,
crushed.
there were clear flaws. But I've gone back and forth of like, is it just a masterpiece? Yeah,
There's
probably.
clear flaws in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And it's still probably a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
so, yeah.
But they could have like, it would have been easier. It made sense. There was expectations that were not met, and that's why I waffled back and forth. But it doesn't matter. They fucking brought it. It was unbelievable. And after that, I was just like, well, we're going back to play another 8 hours of video games. So like this is the moment where it's like, it is totally a work trip. Like there's not a moment to relax. So I forget my drink of my food tickets because we are then running out of the apartment to make sure we get to our appointment at 1 p.m.
Yep.
Because we finish Xbox at 12:30, and then I have to pack my laptop and a bunch of other shit. And we're going. We get in the Uber, we get there, we had like 4 minutes to hang out before our meeting, and then we started playing a bunch of games. We had an appointment 1 to 3, then we had a little bit of a break, and then the rest of the day sort of just kicks off. Like we ate food again. I had the Mexican that time around. Delicious. So good.
Yeah, really solid tacos.
That
Yeah.
day flew by. The second day went by so
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
We started with Level Infinites, played like a bunch of games over there. PlayStation was that day. Capcom was
that day.
I know we had Day of the Devs and I forget what else.
Blumhouse, you played that day.
Yeah, so it was a ton of fun. We got a bunch of games in and just packed out the day.
Something I do want to bring up is the Capcom setting. Well, like I haven't been able to discuss this.
Oh yeah,
Is one of the best experiences.
what was the
I've
room
ever had.
like in there? Can you even say?
Yeah, I think so. I can talk about anything that's in the demo, like
Okay.
that entire experience.
Was the room like tricked out with Monster Hunter?
So
stuff?
let me break it down. We roll in, and the first thing that they have, I'm on like Diet Coke number 7 at this point on the day, because I would drink water, but water would make me like, no joke, like feel nervous, like, and just like not. So I was ripping
that
DCs
mean?
to calm myself down.
That
to
doesn't
almost-
make
to
any
take the
sense.
edge
no,
off.
no, to
Gotta
almost
take
like
the edge
put
off.
me on the energy level that my body needed. Like I needed to be caffeinated to the stress level
Okay.
that I was at. And so as someone that like does deal with panic attacks and did not want to like all of a sudden have a breakdown within the middle of SGF,
DCs.
I was ripping DCs.
Yeah, 7 panic or 7 DCs. That's what it takes to,
Yeah,
like, to level you out.
Yeah, to get me to like be calm.
Yeah,
And so
that's insane.
But literally day one, they have an open bar and everything. Day one, I had like 4 Diet Cokes, and then the next day I had like 4 more Diet Cokes. Like it was so much. So I roll in with the Diet Coke, and the thing is, you can see within the booth there's where you play Street Fighter. That's where you play Path of the Goddess and everything. And it's like cool. And then the big thing was our appointment was 4 to 6. And this was originally something that we thought we were all going to be able to do, but then due to scheduling conflicts, we're like, okay, Connor's got to do PlayStation. I can stick it out and do Monster Hunter Wilds. Brady will do PlayStation, but then it has to go and play something that's embargoed after the fact. So we're like trying to like get everything together still. And I then roll in 4 o'clock, and they're like, your presentation's at 4 and not 5. Like the Monster Hunter portion was either at 4 or 5. For us, we got very lucky. It was 4, and I was also still signed up to do PlayStation. So I was like, I'm gonna be able to do Monster Hunter and PlayStation. That's sick.
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds. Very lucky, and that's another reason why I was like, I understand the experience that I'm gonna have with this game and everything. It's gonna be pretty cool. I didn't think it was gonna be as cool as it inevitably was, but I was like, it's gonna be pretty cool. Connor should be dialed in on PlayStation. And at the time when we signed up too, we didn't know what the games were, so we're like,
Right.
if it's some random PlayStation game that I have no idea, that Connor definitely knows because he's been a lifelong PlayStation fan, he needs to be the one playing those games. And so roll in, go, and immediately we're in this like, not like a giant theater, it's like a room that's, I don't know, 15 by 15, 20 by 20 feet. It's not huge. It's very similar to the room we're in right now, but it has a giant fucking screen, and there's no like Monster Hunter memorabilia, just chairs laid out like someone's about to go and start preaching or something up there. The room was so air conditioned cold, and I swear to God, the reason that they do it is probably to keep the attentiveness of everyone. I've never seen so many people like shivering a little bit, but so excited. So it didn't fucking matter. And then, as I've said multiple times, it not only my game of the show, but like legitimately just the coolest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm very, very excited for this game, and then get to play everything else. But this was the first moment that I'm like, when we talk about the experience and getting to do it, I now know what that looks like, what a behind closed door looks like. Whereas before I was like, are we going to like a theater? Are we going to fucking Mars? I don't know. But like now there's an understanding of, hey, this is what happens. This is what we get to do. And then we roll into PlayStation. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Delivered the goods with Lego Horizon and Astro. Fucking awesome time. We got to take some photos outside. The vlog will show a video of Connor playing the game, not the gameplay itself, but just Connor's
Just
face.
his face.
But
His fucking
and we're in
face.
a room. There's a bunch of like theming with Astro and everything too. It's really sick.
Yeah.
And then I had an appointment that got canceled. I don't feel like it's necessary to discuss what it was for at this point. But the night sort of takes a shift where Connor got to do Blumhouse. we now are gonna rock these indies. We play I play After Love, which I was like, thank God that appointment got canceled. This is fucking awesome. Like I cannot believe how good that was. We started rolling into the night. Oh, before my appointment, I was like so excited to eat because I was finally hungry. My body was like good to go. And I didn't know that they closed down the food
Yeah,
trucks
that
at a
was
certain
tough.
point, and I was destroyed. But Capcom had a bunch of fruit snacks. Connor,
Nick was
and
ripping.
Connor
fruit
and Brady
snacks, dude.
don't know
Most
this
fruit
extra
you-
aspect of the story. I go, and it's like it's now wrapping up the day, and I'm without the boys, and I'm just fucking starved. I go and I see Capcom, and I see the lady that like I signed all of the stuff I have to sign to go and experience this whole thing. See her, and I'm like, hey, I still have like the wristband. Can I just like come in to grab some fruit snacks? And she goes, absolutely, you can. And I've never been more happy in my
I love
entire
you.
life as I roll
That
in
is a wild
and just
thing to
grab
ask somebody.
two like
These
like,
are business professionals,
Yeah.
and Nick is a child.
Can I
He's
have
like,
some
yeah, I have
snacks?"
the food snacks.
I'm like, food snacks? And they're so, and I just literally, shamelessly, they got a big ass bin. I had a handful. Just go and grab 4 packs of fruit snacks,
Wild.
walk out, grab another Diet Coke, because of course.
Jesus Christ.
And then just am like munching on some fruit snacks, waiting for Connors to finish his appointment. And then we rip into the next stuff. And then once again, it's just now over. This weekend of crazy nonstop work. Like it was nonstop. This is the prime example of we think the strength of our team being 3 people is so important. And like you need to like
We divided and conquered big time.
yeah, divide and conquer. I also think that hearing about previous years SGF and everything, the amount of stuff shown at this, shout out to Jeff Keighley and the team. They brought the goods. There was stuff that we didn't play that you guys have probably seen embargoes going up on the internet. We didn't get to do, but others did. That I cannot believe how many great games and titles there were from the indie scene all the way up to the AAA players. He brought it to the highest degree. I think that this is officially the thing. Like this is completely.
It's going to be open to the public at some point.
I don't
right?
think so.
Didn't they say that they had plans to do that?
Never the intention.
Or was it just the show?
Yeah, the show was always going to be
Oh,
public,
okay.
but this is supposed to be media. This is the other thing that Connor and I talked about after the first day. This industry, I think that we consistently like it's huge. There's so many people that like do it and everything.
It's like 200 people.
I said like
Maximum.
150.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was so few
So
people.
strange, dude, because you're just like in it with everybody. Like,
Yeah,
and you're just walking past faces that you know, like constantly. It's
Yeah.
very strange.
and it's it's also the reminder of like, holy shit, thank you so much. We cannot believe that we're there, but we did. But I think by the end of the weekend, all of us were like, oh, like we deserve to be here. Like this was a very great experience and everything. Then we roll out. We get some BurgerFi. We DoorDash some.
Nope.
Not BurgerFi. What's the?
What is Burger Fi?
It's a
That's a thing. It's
like
a real thing,
Yeah,
actually.
it's a steak shake.
Oh,
Steak.
Tell
It's
them
been
what
a
we
long
got.
day.
Yeah,
dude.
Shake Shack.
We got
Shake
Shake
Shack.
Shack. We DoorDash Shake Shack.
Nick
That
gave me-
actually worked.
That was so good too. Nick gave me so much shit about getting 2 burgers.
Why not just get a double burger?
No, that's different.
Because
That-
then you don't have 2 burgers.
Yeah, right. This is 2, and that would be 1.
we're using like company dime to go and to get Connor like.
It
this-
was like
these-
the same price. It was,
That's
dude.
true.
That
was-
shit was expensive.
It was really
It was
expensive.
so expensive. Fun fact: DoorDash in LA, not cheap. And so we tear that down. I try to get Brady to start finishing Bad Boys 1 with me
Not
again.
happening.
No,
It
we
was
all fell
not
asleep.
happening.
Like I was like, I'm going to bed after
Yeah.
this. It's like 9 o'clock. I'm like, I'm fucking toast. I never got on West Coast time.
I
at all.
did.
I just maintained my sleep schedule, like because I went to bed at 8, which is technically midnight, right?
Yep.
Something like that.
No, 11.
know.
And then woke up at 5 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
just like
And
could not sleep.
so we rip it. We wake up the next day. We fly out to the Austin airport. People play games. People sleep on the flight. Austin airport, Connor.
Worst airport on the planet.
Dude, they had live music at the airport.
I'm like,
You're just forcing people to listen to
I
live
don't want to.
music.
I'm sitting here at this restaurant. I want quiet. I just want to hang out. And now like there is live music blaring, and I can't like we were trying to talk business stuff or whatever, like plan out some of the rest of the year,
Yeah.
like plan out what games we're gonna play. And this man is just fucking wailing on the guitar, and I'm like, please stop. I'm like having to yell at Nick,
Yeah.
and he's sitting right in front of me. Then we got airport.
I was
Sushi.
so
These
no,
boys
I
got
want to break
sushi.
this
So
down.
bad.
I step up, and I'm like, I need food, and y'all are like, I'm not that hungry yet. And we have a 3-hour layover. This is the start of the layover.
Sorry, let me cut you off. We did skip over the part that it was normal time for us, but we did eat Jersey Mike's at probably like 9:30 in the
fuck.
morning
Yeah.
at the LA airport.
We ate Jersey Mike's at 9:30 at the LA airport. The bread was, for Connor and I, both so stale.
Not me.
And it did not matter. We were
housing that
rubbing.
It was so
We
good.
were taking that thing to town, dude. It was great. But the funniest part was I was like, I get to the airport. I'm a normal human being at like 9 a.m. I'm like, I want a coffee. And these two jamokes are just like, let's do fucking Jersey Mike's. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
We had to.
And then I'm like, all right, we were waiting to get a seating assignment. And I just like, the entire time I'm on my phone. I'm just like, this is the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard in my life. But I guess that's what we're doing right now is
What,
Jersey Mike's.
Yeah.
That was so
And
good.
then it was delicious.
We all got to sit together on the second
Yeah,
flight.
Yeah,
and,
the flights on the way home, we all were in the same row,
they're in
which was
everything.
nice.
And so, but getting back to the sushi story, I go and step up to the plate. I'm very excited. I'm like, I'm just gonna order some sushi. I roll up and I'm like, they had like a spicy tuna roll that I was excited. I was like, that's what I'm gonna get. They're like, we're all out of spicy tuna rolls. I'm like, fuck. So then, give me a California roll. I'll be basic. Why not? Get this California roll.
It's $15.
It looks
$15.
It's like frozen, dude.
It's frozen, disgusting. The rice is so bad. The way it's wrapped is like falling apart. There's not a redeeming aspect of this food. Legitimately, the next day I felt off. I'm like, it's probably this fucking sushi. And the funniest part is I get it down. I spent $15 on it. I'm gonna take it down. Connor then goes and just appears with sushi after seeing me eat the sushi.
I just was like, I just wanted to.
That was such a bad
It was
idea.
something I could just slam back. Like,
But-
sushi is so easy, just
but like,
done.
I thought you would learn from my sins.
Real quick, I need to. It is worth noting, Austin Airport. And this is a problem with the Newark Airport as well. Has no chain restaurants.
Well,
Well,
goddamn
for
Chili's,
our
dude. Where's my
terminal,
Chili's?
there was a Whataburger within this airport.
Whataburger.
A Whataburger.
We're saying the
Why
same
are
thing.
you saying
We
that?
are saying the same
Jack and Dexter.
thing.
Whataburger?
Jack and Dexter.
But like it's all like just random like Taco Joe's and like burger, not burger
Bob's.
five,
There's
burger
like a
Bob's,
Burger Bob's or some shit.
and
dude.
they're all packed in there. And we're just trying to find a place to charge our stuff. And like I wanted a fountain soda really badly,
Yeah.
so I was like, fuck it. Like I saw that sushi place like had like nobody in it. Let's just go back and sit
for
there.
a reason.
Yeah, which was great. It was honestly a great place to set up
Yeah,
camp.
yeah,
for
it
our
wasn't bad.
entire
Oh yeah.
time.
And
But-
then we did like talk about the back half of this year. And as if you're listening to this and you enjoy our content, we went from being like, we have like a few things we got to review. The stretch from August 20th to September 6th is ridiculous. Just off the top of my head, it's Black Myth, Wukong, Concord, Visions of Mana, Astrobot, and Star Wars Outlaws.
yeah.
I would like to say before we move on to this whole sushi debacle, I just got a Lunchable
Yeah,
like an adult.
that's what I was gonna say. You can't really give a shit about
Yeah.
eating
I-
the sushi.
I mean,
You got a
airport
lunch-
sushi or
you got a
the
lunch.
old
You
reliable.
got a
I'd
Lunchable
rather
and
do a
Cheetos.
Lunchable.
You got Lunchable and Cheetos. Yeah,
hot
in
Cheetos.
hindsight,
Oh.
I'd rather do the Lunchable. But like,
Hindsight's
that's such a
20/20,
random.
baby.
Brady's like, I'm gonna go get some food, and I thought he was gonna come back with like food,
Yeah.
and he comes
It
back with a
is.
Lunchable.
I then
Old
after the
reliable.
fact, so we legitimately talked business, shoot emails for like this was a great way to like debrief after the entire session and whirlwind of 2 days of nonstop gaming. And then obviously there's things like announcements that have happened.
Right.
And then we have things like Dragon Age coming up in a couple days that we're excited to like talk about. Just so many things are fucking happening. So moving on, I then roll in with $6 Mike and Ike's, and I get shit for that from both these guys. Brady,
I
Mike
did
and
eat some.
Ike.
yep.
One of the worst.
Well,
candies.
here's
I used to be against it.
I rolled in. I was so excited. I'm like, I'm going to buy Mike and Ike's because the boys won't ask me for any. And then I sit down and Brady immediately asks for some fucking Mike and Ike's. And I was like, I'm going to give him the Mike and Ike's, but like, I was like, almost like, darn, my plan's foiled and everything. So we get on this last flight.
small
flight.
plane.
Small plane, 2 seats, one. No, what is it?
Two and two.
2 and 2. Me and
Two and
Connor
two.
sat next to each other. Dude, I mean,
You can take the story away. Yeah.
there's nothing too crazy. Connor and I just sit next to each other, shoulder to shoulder. He's playing Hades. I'm
Oh,
playing
no, I'm talking
Animal
about
Well.
even the very start of the flight.
What,
Sit next
what
to
are
the
we-
girl.
Oh, dude, I forgot about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so me and Connor sit next to each other. We're just chatting it up. Nick's
This
sitting
plane
next.
is empty.
Yeah,
Very empty.
This Nick's sitting next to this girl.
Attractive.
Poor
yeah,
lady.
Yeah.
She's a cute girl. Yeah. She asked the lady if she could move forward. She's like, these seats are more expensive So
No, it was a weight
thing. Yeah.
Oh well, it was a weight. They said we couldn't move because of weight thing, and then eventually they were like, just ask us and like let us know if you want to move. And I think she asked to move. She was like, you can't move forward because these seats are more expensive.
Yeah, but you can move back.
And then finally, like we called the girl over, asked to move, and then we just start giving Nick shit.
Yeah,
like,
so the girl goes up to and like, can I move back? And she's like, yeah. And all of a sudden, Brady's like, it's because he stinks. And I'm like,
he smells bad.
And then I'm just like, I don't smell bad.
The flight attendant was like, what did you guys do to her to make her move? And then I kept making the joke that Nick should ask to move back also, but then just go sit next to her again. It would have been so funny.
Oh, dude. But no, it was nice to have the open area. And then I fell asleep and nothing.
That's where I was going to lead into.
Yeah.
And then Connor and I we're shoulder to shoulder playing Animal. I'm playing Animal. He's playing Hades. I'm asking him some questions and stuff, and we're just doing our own thing. And then we look over, and Nick, I swear, like every 5 minutes, I'd look over, and he's just in a different position.
Yeah.
At one point, like I think Connor tapped me, or I tapped Connor, and Nick's just like head on the seat forward, mouth agape.
No, it wasn't head on the seat like this. The seat is here, and his face is here.
I'm used to the seat in front of me to like to
Mouth
have like
wide open.
and
Just
I'm just
staring at us.
sending
It
it.
looks like the most uncomfortable position possible.
God give me all that room with that extra seat. Now I'm gonna
Why
use
don't you
it.
just lean
Like
to the side?
It's the way that I like to sleep when I go to bed. I sleep on this side, so I cannot. I could technically, I guess, be in the left seat and then
Yeah.
do it that way. But I wanted some
normal-
backing. I want to have backing that way.
What do you mean backing?
So if this is the two seats, and this is the back.
It's not good podcasting material.
Oh yeah, visual. If I were on the left seat, I'd be able to put my cheek to the side that I want to put it to, and be fine. But I wouldn't have any back to it.
Wait, do you only sleep on one cheek always?
Almost always, yeah.
That's weird.
I flop around. Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
go back and forth.
I normally, if I'm gonna like call it a night, I start out with like being on my back, and then I will stretch my neck to the other way to like try to get some balance, and then I will turn on this cheek and go to bed.
But you don't toss and turn at all?
I like do in the night, but not when I'm like going to sleep. I always sleep on the same cheek.
But dude, it was so comical. All I think is like a cartoon montage. Like I said, you would be in a different position every time I looked over. So in my mind, I just think of like a cartoon montage where he's like, I look over and then he's like upside down, just like sleeping feet the air.
Yeah, I'm
was
fucking
wild.
all of a sudden in the overhead
in
bin.
the overhead bin,
like-
sleeping. Yeah, that's exactly how my mind worked. But yeah, it was chill. We got a coffee. The
we
flight
did.
attendant came around with some snackies. Connor and I got some almonds.
Almonds were horrible.
They were
dude.
not great.
They were not salted. What are you doing?
They were lightly salted. My ass.
Yeah.
We ripped some coffees. She's like, "You want anything for your boy?" Just dead, and we were like, "No, he's good. He's good." Yeah, just shove a couple almonds in his mouth. He'll be fine.
You should have been like,
Get him a Diet Coke.
he needs a Diet Coke. He has not had a soda all weekend. He needs a Diet Coke. So yeah, we roll in. Laura then picks us up with Mitchell. Immediately, we're like, how the fuck are we going to be able to fit all this luggage
In the
And-
2011 Toyota Corolla.
Yeah, like because we all had
10
like bags, backpacks, and a suitcase, and the giant like trunk of equipment, and we made it work.
Yep.
And then
There were golf
drove-
clubs in the trunk
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, drove
So
Mitch
bad.
and they dropped me off at Connor's. I then drive Mitch and Brady home. Overall, genuinely, a electric weekend that flew by in a flash. It was
Yep.
so sudden.
And now it feels like it's 10 years ago.
Yeah, because so much has happened. It feels like
Yeah.
that was so like you exit that experience and it's just the wildest thing ever. And the fact that the way that the SGF team, like I said, I can't say it enough, brought it. The SGF people like knew how to put on a fucking event, and every single person there was like really fucking awesome.
Everybody was so nice. Yeah, very welcoming. They put the event together very well.
Yeah.
Like it was as soon as we did our laps and everything, we're like, all right, we got it. Like it's very set.
We
It's
know
set up
where
very
we need to
nicely.
go.
They're running it like an oiled machine.
There was an event, and I won't say what it was, that there was like a door, just like a random door that were like, hey, we have an appointment that we think is here. And they're like,
Oh yeah.
what, like, at a certain time? And we're like, yeah. And we're just like, okay, like, well you're in. Like,
They're like password.
Yeah, that literally, it was so weird, bro.
It was
it
a
was, like,
closed door
cool.
location.
Yeah, it was kind of like
literally
a,
on the map. It had like a safe
Yeah.
looking
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
on it. It was like, that's weird.
It was like
but-
a speakeasy bar kind of like you
Yeah.
open the door and it was like cool in there and they had like a bartender and like just a bunch of snacks and
Oh
shit.
yeah, it was great. And so, but it was very like, other than that, everything was so easy to like find and just show up and play. Like, it legitimately was one of the best weekends I think in all of our lives. Where the craziest part of it is, we hope to get invited for next year, unless they're like, oh, that Brady guy's a little too wild for us. Like, but like, it is just now part of our lives, and it's very, very strange and
Odd.
terrific. Lastly, though, the last person that we did get to meet was Michael Huber
Yeah,
from Easy Allies.
legend. I bumped into him on accident. I
Yeah.
like turned around and like hit him.
Yeah.
But
What's
it
up
was
with you guys
perfect.
hitting your here?
It was perfect though. It was like I just like kind of backed into him, and then I was like, oh hey Huber, and then
You did it on purpose.
yeah, I didn't see him coming. I
The
was
meet
like,
cute. He like he's like, all right, Huber's walking in, and bang.
I was like, what's good? And then I gassed him up.
He
And told-
brought me into the conversation. Thankfully, Connor was like, "Oh, well, yeah," and we.
I was like,
started
Nick
yapping.
is you.
Yeah.
Because Nick is very much like Michael Huber in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
It was cool talking to him. He was really appreciative of our kind words and stuff. So yeah, nice.
got to bring up the fact that I like the coolest shit ever for me was being like, "Hey, there are 2 videos." It's really funny because I did fumble the bag. If I'm going to bring up a video to Michael Huber, it would be the most hype reaction maybe in all of history, which is the announcement of Final Fantasy VII Remake, one of my favorite games ever. And he is on that fucking reaction. It is one of the most legendary
It's a
video
great
game
reaction.
reactions
They're losing their
ever.
fucking mind.
They lose. You have fucking Kyle Bosman standing up on his fucking chair like this as he's trying to stay in the camera shot, losing his mind. And they're like, it's got to be a movie. And then it pops up remake, and it is the most hype shit ever. And Michael Huber is part of it, losing his fucking mind. It's him. It's Michael Huber, Brad Ellis, Kyle Bosman, and Elise Williams. Like, it's all industry veterans. But I went to 2016 God of War. The next year, Sony E3, so well known. Once again, we're talking legendary reactions. The announcement of God of War coming out, there's a moment that I have embedded in my head that is Michael Huber. Like, the dude knows how to bring it when it comes to a reaction because it's real. Like, he doesn't like put on a facade or anything, but he's genuinely excited. Kratos comes out to the start of the live demo, and you realize that he has the Leviathan axe on his back, and Michael Huber just goes, "Kratos with an axe! Kratos with an axe!" And it's just like, awesome. It's pure energy, pure hype, and I get to tell him, "Hey man, like I've watched that video."
Kratos
like,
with an axe.
And then he goes and says, he's like, "Kratos with an axe," and his understanding to say those words out loud after the fact.
That's amazing.
Genuinely, I was just like, what the fuck world do I live in where this is available and awesome? Like, I can't believe it. And so it's been an awesome way to feel comfortable. I do think, like, at the very start of this year, Connor knows this, we every single year do like family goals and everything, and like a book where we write down our previous year's favorites and then our New Year's resolutions. And one of my resolutions this year was I want to like do certain things that push the company in a way that we get looked at as quote unquote a force within this industry, because I know we can do that. I know we can bring it to a high enough level and deliver, and it's all possible because of you people watching this right now. With that being said, one of the things that I said, there's 3 things, and I'm going to save the last one for because it hasn't happened yet, and it can't happen yet. It can only happen towards the end of the year. But 3 things. One of them was I want to get a review code from a major publisher, and literally January, like 5 days later, we got that. And then the other one was I want to do SGF. Like, I want to go out there to an event and like show up. And now that we are done, we've done all of our coverage. We have one last thing embargoed, but like that's down the line. As y'all don't need to worry about that. Like, it is so exciting, and we fucking did the damn thing. I'm so proud of the team. Like, we all brought it in such a large way, whether it's Connor doing PlayStation or Brady like and I looking at each other as we drinking Martinelli's playing Delta Force. Like, it was brought in such a way that I think everyone was very mature, killed it, very professional. Even when I'm being a moron, Connor's like, hey, probably don't swear as much as you do. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, we're playing
It's a good point.
Astrobot, and he's just like
This is
dropping
fucking
F
awesome.
bombs,
This is
and
fucking
we're like,
awesome.
hey.
And Connor, like the PR lady walks away from him, and he's like, "Yeah, probably cool not swearing." I was like, "Yeah, you're right." But we go and just have this terrific experience, and we can't thank you guys enough. This has been truly a dream come true. And when I said like that's a goal of mine, I understand that goal is only possible with you guys, and so. It's been a crazy, exciting event. We got invited. I was thinking about this like April, like late April was when we sort of knew that this was going to happen.
Something like that.
And
Yeah, it
the
was
fact,
it was like a month out.
yeah, and
Yeah,
so
it was
all
wild.
we
were scrambling.
We
but
did scramble quite a bit, but we got it all together. And next year, we do expect, with the contacts we now know and the people we now know, for it to be even bigger and better, and to deliver the content that you guys know and love. My voice right now, shot. I'm realizing after being on content all day.
Yeah, I'm eepy.
Yeah, so we can call it there, but genuinely, I think I can say for all three of us, thank you so fucking much for this opportunity. This has been your bonus casual gaming conversation. Quarterly, it happens once a quarter because of your support on Co-op 64 Day. This is quarter number 2. If you love what we do, maybe check out quarter number 1. It's a short podcast where Connor and I talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But in the meantime, enjoy whatever you do. Play some video games. We salute you.